What's good, people? We are back. Another video, just checking that the mic's working. I can see the audio moving on the screen. I think it is. What's happening? So we're back. We're in the kitchen today. We're not in the car, which is an improvement, I think. And we're getting ready for the gym. We're out to make the pre-workout shake. And I wanted to chat a little bit about this supplement here because I'm trying to get into the habit of just filming, just picking up the camera and filming a little bit more so I can get more content. And I done a video for Instagram, so I thought I'd do a video for YouTube as well. And it's going to be around hydration, and specifically hydration supplements and also like electrolyte supplements, kind of the same thing. But some of them will be more so, some of them will say hydration, some of them will just say electrolytes. So why is this important? You're probably thinking, why don't you just drink loads of water and you'll be hydrated? So when you're doing intense exercise, you're going to lose about 1.3 grams of sodium per hour as well, right? Now electrolytes, so sodium, potassium, magnesium, are going to be super important for hydration, and I would say sodium is maybe up there with the most important because that's what's going to allow you to absorb chloride, amino acids, glucose and water. So that is very important, like post workout, post training, post exercise. So this wee bad boy is definitely super important, as well as like water. Like, it goes without saying, you should be hitting your water intake. This should be pretty consistent. It should be pretty frequent. The timing of it as well should be quite consistent, but you also want to pair something like this together, especially if you're training hard, which you should be, and you'll be sorted. You'll be a lot better covered. There you go. Take that information, do with it as you will. As we go about making this shake, checking none of the cupboards are open, done that a few times, it looks horrible. As we go about making this shake, I wanted to touch on salts, because you've probably seen people using different salts, higher quality salts. Pink Himalayan sea salt is a very popular one. You might have seen people use something called low salt, just LO salt. You can grab that in like most supermarkets. That links into hydration. As I hold up pre-workout, do that again. That links into hydration. All that is like a higher quality salt. So the sodium to potassium ratio is a little bit better than your typical like table salt. And that's why they'll have that on their meals to link into what I was saying before. But we've got some Naughty Boy. We've got some loaded creatine. Honestly, I don't really know if I feel the benefits of like this creatine compared to like other creatine. I don't know if I feel the benefits if I put it in my pre-workout, but it tastes good. And this, as you can see, is watermelon gummy candy flavour, if you can see that. And then this is, of course, sour watermelon. So they go pretty well together and they taste pretty good, so can't complain. Some new shoes, I think they're quite snazzy in my opinion, because comfort is key, especially when you're doing a lot of cardio. I'm cutting and I'm doing a lot of cardio, so these are comfy and look pretty good in my opinion. So yeah, nice wee pick up. Yes, people, we have made it in for upper. So we are going to run through structure in an upper session, because there's quite a lot you can do, like where should you do your push stuff, where should you do your pull stuff, arm work and whatnot. So I'll structure my upper session, or one of my upper sessions, and I'll explain why we're structuring it that way. So starting off with a lateral raise, just to get the shoulder nice and warm, get the joint warmed up. Then we're going to move into main shoulder press, main chest press, and then main like tricep press. That's going to be the first of the exercises, which is going to cover the majority of the push stuff, like all the push stuff. Then we'll move into pulling work, then we'll move into arm work, and we'll touch on each bit and why we're structuring it that way. The cap round so you can actually see me, but main shoulder press here. Now, yes, this grip is going to be a little bit more interior delt and a little bit more chest as well, because we're driving that humerus, that upper arm, more so in line with those clavicular fibres. The interior delt and the like upper chest fibres are going to run like fairly similarly. So this press here is going to incorporate both, but it's sort of the main shoulder press. This I don't enjoy. So this is what we're going for. Fire through this, then we move on to dumbbell chest press, and I'll explain why. But I've been battling with these plates, been on 6 plates since the start of the diet. I think I've only dropped like 2 reps since then. Last time was 7, I think the most I got was 9. So I'm pretty happy with that, to be fair. We'll try and get as many as we can here, of course. Turn this back around so I can actually put my head against the pad. From 9 to 5, I know it's taking your bitch. Dreams of living life like rappers do. Back when condom rappers wasn't cool. I fuck Sherane in winter till my bros. Then the Sherane and let it burn came on. Hot sauce all that night top rhyming, yeah bitch. Park the car then we start rhyming, yeah bitch. The only thing we had to. Right, also pretty important to address like active range of motion here, but then like not using that as an excuse. So when I'm in this position and I'm letting my hands drop, my phone just dropped in my pocket there as well, let my hands drop, right, they naturally stop here. So this is like roughly where I want to stop my hands. I don't want to get pushed down here. Now yes, I can apply pressure and like push my hands all the way down here, but then that's me kind of loading into a passive range of motion. I want to stay in that active range of motion, but try and get as much of that active range of motion as I can. Well, try and get all of it. So just because you've maybe heard of active range of motion, don't use that as an excuse to then just get like really poor range of motion altogether. So be wary of that. But we've got it back off here. Just drop a plate off each side. Try and get in that 10 to 12 range. And that's a lifestyle that we never knew. Go at a rapping for the rap and go. Hallelujah or hallelujah. Pick your poison, tell me what you do. Everybody go respect the shooter, but the one in front of the gun lives forever. The one in front of the gun forever. And I've been hustling all day, this away, that away, through canals and alleyways, just the same. Don't know if you'd have seen that, but hit this. Could probably put the seat up 1 notch, to be fair. But basically re-racked itself. Last rep was basically a dead stop. Need to stop saying basically as well. Probably huffing and puffing out my arse right now on this mic. You might be thinking, why am I going through the pushing work first and then moving on to the pulling work? So typically, people will be able to hold on to pulling strength a little bit easier than pushing strength. Now, combine that with the fact that I've just spent 8 months trying to prioritise my back. I would now say that my back is probably one of my strong points. I don't really need to emphasise that as much. So with those 2 pieces of information combined together, for me, it makes sense to prioritise my push work first and then move on to my pulling work. Now, if you were someone that had, let's just say, a really weak back, or you're wanting to prioritise your back, you might be better just looking at adding like pull days. So instead of following upper, lower, you'd probably like to have a little bit more specific pull work in there. Or you could have a pull day and then your upper session, if you had an upper session, could be more pull focused compared to typically push focused. So that is why. Now we're going to move on to dumbbell chest press here, flat, since I would have got some incline work from the shoulder press. The reason we have flat now is because it's going to be hardest in that length and range, and it's going to drop off as we stack the joints and converge. We've just gathered a lot of fatigue, especially like across that upper chest as well on the shoulder press. So our ability to get into that contracted position is going to suffer. So having a drop off there makes sense, and we can prioritise that length and range a little bit more with the dumbbell. And the fact that having this a little bit later on in the session means I don't need to band it up. So it only goes to 50s in this gym. And I was getting to the point where I was having to band plates up and turn them into like 60s. It's a massive pain in the arse, to be honest. So this means I can just go and grab the 50s and then rinse the 50s, which is easier. So jump into that. Jesus, the perfect place for shade, and that's just how I feel. $8 might just fuck your main bitch, that's just how I feel. this is usually when I would like to go into dips, but there's no like dip station or dip machine in here, so we obviously cannot do dips. So we're gonna go for a close grip bench. If we're training at future, then we would use plate loaded dip machine, and then if you notice the first sort of 3 movements, I'm getting a little bit of upper chest with the shoulder press. The flat dumbbell press is obviously just like pec, a neutral press, it's not decline or incline. And then this like dip machine or dips would get a little bit of those costal fibers as well. So it's quite rounded, which is what I want, because chest is an area for me that's always just been lagging. So it just needs a little bit more priority, and that upper lower split allows me to, 1, prioritize my legs, which we covered in the last video, and it allows me to manipulate and also prioritize my pushing work. So it works pretty well for me, but just have to make do with this and run this today. Not the end of the world.
Ain't nothing casualty at war, yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch. 2 bullets in my uncle Tony head. He said one day I'll be on tour, yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch. That Louisburgers never be the same. Hey, Louis Belder never eats that pain.
Where I see most people go wrong with this is honestly try to go too close. So try to come in and think the closer the hands are, the better, which is not the case. Most people, you're going to want to fall right around shoulder width, because that's going to allow you to keep the joints stacked. So if you're looking at me from straight on, when I'm doing this press, I'm trying to keep wrist, elbow and shoulder stacked as much as I can. I might not be able to do that perfectly. I might not be able to tuck the elbows in enough to do that perfectly, but that's what I'm trying to do. Now, if you move your hands really close together, these elbows are going to flare and your joint's going to be nowhere near to be getting stacked on top of each other. The closer you can be to stacking the joints, the stronger and safer you're going to be. So it means you can shift more load, which is going to be good for growth, and you're going to be safer when you're doing it. So it's a win-win situation. So don't think the closer you are in here, the better. Try and get as comfortable as you can, about shoulder width, tuck the elbows as comfortably as you can as well, and try and stack the wrist, elbow and shoulder so they're on top of each other. So now on to the pulling work. So the way I like to structure the pulling work is just sort of 1 mid upper back focus movement, then 1 lat focus movement, and then they just get a little bit more work. So they get a little bit more sets compared to the pushing stuff, just so we can get that total weekly volume bumped up, so we can hit sort of that minimum threshold to still try and see some growth. I'm not trying to grow my back right now, I'm still trying to obviously see progress there. So move on to this, which will be a little bit more mid upper back, then we'll move on to machine row, which will be a little bit more lat, and then move into arms. Let's go. Pull off in churches with Pirelli skirt. Gang signs out the window, yeah, bitch. Hoping our love will offend you, yeah, bitch. They say your hood is a pot of gold, and we gon' crash it when nobody's home. Hallelujah. Make it once and tell me what you do. Everybody go respect the shoe, but the one in front of the guy lives forever. The one in front of the gun forever. And I've been hustling all day, this away, that away, through canals and alleyways, just to slay money trees. It's the perfect place for shade, and that's just how. Right, so pushing and pulling work done now. Now we're going to move on to arms, and the way that we structure arms across this session is going to be bicep, tricep, then bicep. Reason for biceps first is triceps are going to be pretty gassed already from a lot of the pushing work and the close grip Smith. So we're going to move on to incline cable curl, tax the biceps in their length range first, and then the second bicep exercise is actually going to be some blood flow restriction intensity work, so an intensifier. So I'll run you through that, and then we'll cover triceps separately. To some blood flow restriction work for biceps. That's why I've got my lovely armbands on here. But basically that's going to be a little bit more like metabolic stress work. So I'm going to go for a Widowmaker. We're going to try and fail around about 15 reps. Then we're going to do as many sets as it takes to achieve 30 reps overall, which is pretty grim, which obviously looking forward to that. So resting for 10 seconds in between, then we're in again. 10 seconds to 10 deep breaths. Ooh.
That's just how I be the last one not to get this dough. No way, love one of you buckethead hoes. No way, hit the streets and we break the code. No way, hit the brakes when they on patrol. No way, be the last one not to get this dough. No way, love one of you buckethead hoes. No way, hit the streets and we break the code. No way, hit the brakes when they on patrol. No way.
Right, so what you would have seen there is a mechanical drop set. So we're doing rope extensions, standing a little bit further away. So it's going to be hardest when we're in that contraction. Then we're hinging over, so it's going to be a little bit more mid-range, hardest in the mid-range. And then we're turning over, going overhead, and that's going to be the hardest in that length and range. So if you're short on time or you want something that's going to be like quick and effective, then I'd definitely try that at the end of your session. I've just done a full upper session, I'm fatigued, I'm not particularly motivated to train arms, so that makes it a little bit more exciting. Probably thinking, why did I even put the bands on? What is the point in doing like blood flow restriction? So why would we use them? It's going to achieve a hypertrophic response through more metabolic stress, so build up of metabolites. That means that you're not going to need to use as much load in order to achieve that response, which means that your recovery capabilities from that should be a little bit better. So you could technically do that a little bit more frequently across your sessions. It's fun, again, time efficient, makes your sessions a little bit more exciting. Recovery is going to be better from it as well. A few reasons why you want to do that, but the main one for me is because it's fun, I enjoy it, and get it done quickly after I do an upper session.
New Kanye album, what the fucking aircon's on? That was probably very, very loud. Anyway, new Kanye album, do we rate it? I don't know. There's only like 2 songs I like, maybe 3. Back to Me is quite decent, Carnival's quite decent. I think that's kind of it, to be fair. Meh. But I thought this would be a good place to wrap up the video. We have finished training, it's a couple of days later, if you couldn't tell. But we're just about to go and do some work, grab a coffee, been a busy morning. But yeah, just wanted to actually do a bit of an outro clip and say if you've watched it all the way to this part, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.